for the serious gamer.
Hey guys, Neely here, and I have a Bad Company 2 Rush gameplay on Port Valdez. I'm using the M95 sniper rifle. And in this video, you're going to see here at the beginning me basically missing a ton of shots, but I promise you I'm going to nail some shots here in a little bit. And basically, what I want to talk about is 7 tips for all you snipers out there who play Bad Company 2. And this works for all games, really, not just Bad Company 2. I thought of like 7 tips of advice that I'd like to share with you guys, how to make you a better team player, especially in Bad Company 2, and some other things that'll definitely help you out if you go to snipe in other games as well. And again, right here, I'm missing some I don't want to say easy shots, but not being too patient here, trying to really rush my shots, and I'll talk about that tip in a second here. And we get A and B are pretty fast, so it worked out all right. So I got to move up here. So I guess what I'll talk about first, the first tip, tip number 1, is that you need to be constantly spotting your enemies in Bad Company 2. And while this seems obvious, it just takes a quick tap of the select button. And the one thing that's key for a sniper in Bad Company 2 is to help your team out and move around and not just stay back and snipe, you know, thousands of yards basically into the spawn after your enemies. You want to be constantly spotting the enemies on your map. So your assault guys, your rushers, or your medic guys who are rushing to take off or blow up the objective, you need to let your assault guys and your rushers be aware of where the enemy is. And when I'm sniping, I have the advanced spotting scope out, so that helps me as well. And you know, if I'm having trouble getting to an enemy, or if I generally just want to help out my team, I am constantly spotting. And like I said, this is pretty obvious, but if you spot, people don't realize how much of a benefit this is in this game, and especially when a lot of people are camping back on the other team. So if you constantly spot, it helps team play wise to really let your teammates know that, or know the locations of the enemies on the map. And so tip number 2 I want to use is, or give you, is to use C4s and mortars. And in this game, I didn't have the mortar, and if I did have the mortar, I'd be using it on tanks, and I'd be using it on large groups of enemies or around the objective when we plant. And for the mortar to work, again, it's one of those devices that takes out a wide variety, or a cluster of enemies, and at the same time it takes out heavy enemies. Back when Bad Company 2 was released, this game, I would say, had a problem with the mortar. It was too powerful, and they toned it down. But it's still very useful, this game. Don't tell yourself that it's not useful, because it is still very useful. Especially when you spot out tanks, you can use the mortar on them, and you know, help your team out when it comes to that. So don't think that the mortar's unuseful. And you know, if you're a mortar guy and you would rather use that than the C4, by all means, go ahead. It's a smart tactic to use, especially when your team needs to take out large groups of enemies or vehicles. And secondly, I'm using the C4 in this game, and I didn't really get a chance to use it much, and that was because on Port Valdez, it's hard to rush up on this map. There's a lot of trees, and there's a lot of open lanes for the defensive team to camp. And so, for a sniper, it's real easy for yourself to have, obviously you have the ghillie suit, but it's real easy for you to use cover to your advantage and use C4s to get behind tanks and throw it on the tanks. And so, for all you snipers that just stay back and stay in one spot, know that you are not doing your job. You need to use C4s and mortars to basically eliminate heavy vehicles. And you can also put these C4s, this has been the biggest trick so far in Bad Company 2, people throwing C4 on the objectives and taking care of them quicker. So know that just because you're a sniper doesn't mean you don't get off your damn ass and move up and use your C4s and mortars, so know that. And this gets me to my third point. You know, you need to be active, move around the map. Don't be a pussy and camp at the back. I know I've said this thousands of times already, but you need to be active. You need to be constantly moving up. On this map here, obviously, I'm not moving up much because my team's not moving up much. So if they're not moving up much, how am I going to move up much? You know, it works both ways. It's a cycle. I would die a lot if I move up a lot in this match that you're watching. But in the cases that you can move up and be active, do it. Move up, quick snipe, or hard scope, whatever you want to do. When I move up, I'm constantly active in my scope. I'm quick sniping, And so I'm always moving up towards the front line when I can to take care of enemies. But there's another side of this as well. You need to be patient, and you need to know when to take your shot. And you saw in the beginning of this video that, my shots are a little erratic at the beginning, and sometimes, that happens at the beginning of a game. It takes a little while sometimes for you to get going, but don't let that frustrate you. If your aim's off right away, you need to stick with it and be patient. But at the same time, like you're watching here, don't rush your shots. And there's a couple instances here where I am doing it, but for all the shots that I do now and for all the kills that I get, I'm being patient. I'm waiting for that headshot from a long range or from a close range, wherever, and I'm sizing it up, and I'm not panicking when I shoot or when I'm in my scope. So knowing that when you're patient as a sniper as well, again, this doesn't mean you camp, this doesn't mean you stay in one spot. Being patient is in regards to when to take your shot, and in terms of also not getting flustered and frustrated at your shots if you're missing. So this also leads into be aware, especially when you use your motion mines, which I'll get to in a second. You want to be aware of where the enemies are on the map. So if you're aware as a sniper, if you're aware of the left side of the map, if you're aware of the middle side, if you're aware of the middle part of the map, and if you're aware of the right side of the map, you are being an aware sniper. So this awareness comes with some experience in shooters, but if you slow the game down for yourself, if you manage what's in front of you, and also keep in mind that enemies are left and right, and you hold a trajectory or a plane of vision, that constitutes in yourself being a good sniper. And this awareness also constitutes using your your C4s and your mortars, your spotting scope, and it also plays into fact with motion mines and whatnot. So this awareness as a sniper sort of encompasses a lot of different things, and it's again a situational thing that you need to monitor as a sniper. A sniper in this game can turn the tide of battle, guys. Snipers, the old cliche in Bad Company 2 is that you're a bushwookie if you're a sniper. Well, who's to say that a sniper can't be stronger than an assault class in this game? If you do these things right, if you take, I mean, I'm not saying that my 7 tips and tactics are perfect, but what I'm saying is if you take into account most of these things that I'm talking about, and you include a strong awareness of the battlefield in front of you, if you accompany all these things in your sniping, you're going to dominate a match. And there are games where I dominate, where I'm up in the 3,000, 4,000, close to 5,000 point range, and it's one of those things where awareness comes a long way. And so what I talked about before with the motion mines, you also want to help out your teams in regards with the motion mines. Again, the recon or snipers in Bad Company 2 have use of motion mines. In the beginning of the game, you saw me using them. I haven't used them recently because at the beginning there, I couldn't use them because we were pushed back so far, and the only time that I really use the motion sensors is if I don't know where the enemies are, meaning if we are pushed back and they're pushing forward and we can't find them, especially on a map like Port Valdez, it's hard to sometimes see your enemies. So if you're a sniper and you use these motion mines, you're going to get motion mine assist, motion mine spots, and this also helps your team be aware. If you're a team player, you want your teammates to be aware with you, so motion mines also help you out as you're a sniper. And I will admit, I forget them sometimes, but it's key to use them as well. And lastly, this is probably one of the biggest things as a sniper rifle, or as a recon guy, as a sniper. One of the biggest things, and you're watching right here, this is an example. Know when to put the sniper rifle away. If your team's getting pounded and you're not getting the results with the sniper rifle, if you're not constantly spotting, using your mortar or C4s, moving up, or using your motion mines, and nothing's going well for you as a sniper, change it up. Know when to put that sniper rifle away. Don't camp in the back of the spawn. Move up with your team. Help them out. Be a team player. So if things are getting hard for you, if you're not doing well, again, know when to put the sniper rifle away. Go into the engineer class, use the UMP like I am now, or go assault, or do something to change it up, to help your team up to win the game. So, in a nutshell, those are 7 tips and tactics that I can think of as a sniper that could help you in Battlefield Bad Company 2 and in other shooters as well. Just don't tend to think that this is totally geared towards Bad Company 2, but I thought that out pretty well. I had a good idea of what I wanted to talk about, and feel free, guys, in the comment section, if you guys feel I left anything out that would help anyone else as a sniper, you can go ahead and chime away and put that in the comment section as well. Or generally, if you guys want to just talk about sniping in general, you can put that down as well. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's going to come to an end here. Pretty decent game. We won this pretty easy until the end there. You saw I had to pull out the UMP and kind of take matters into my own hands. But again, I hope you enjoyed this. And that's it, guys. Take care.